Yeah, what it is, what it do. You already know your boy Josh Jones, ESQ, also known as the Dope Black Lawyer. And I thank you again for tuning in. If you're watching live, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. Type rep your city, rep your hood, rep your HBCU. Let us know exactly where you are at right now. And if you're watching on the replay, type in replay. Either way, we thank you. So welcome once again to Beats, Rhymes, and Crimes Live. This is the #1 place where you're going to be able to get information, news, information about and education about the law from the perspective of the culture. So you're in the right place. So if you're for the culture, if you love the culture, if you ever want to have a dope black lawyer, well, now here we are. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump right in. I'm not going to hold you. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about this story right here. So type of one in the chat if you remember Carlee Russell. A couple months ago, there was a lot of discussion about Carlee Russell as well. She was a young lady who went missing. People were very, concerned about it. So many times Black women have gone missing, and it was underreported, under-investigated. And in this case, it was actually a very big investigation done for Carlee, and it turned out that she faked her own abduction. Well, now Carlee is being sentenced. She pled guilty. And the way it works in Alabama is a little different. So they have these courts where if you go before a municipal judge, there's no jury. So the prosecution for this Class A felony that she's facing decided that Carlee should do 1 year of jail time. Okay, so if you were here last week, you remember that Blueface shot somebody. He's already a felon, and Carlee, this is her first offense, and he got a suspended sentence where he's not going to do any jail time for shooting a man in Las Vegas. But however, the prosecution in Alabama is insisting upon her doing time. So her legal team is going to actually challenge this, and they're going to go to circuit court so that they can try to see if maybe she can only, face the regular sentence, restitution, a fine. So, they're recommending 1 year in jail, $17,000 restitution, which is fine if that's what it costs the state to investigate her kidnapping, plus 2 fines of $831 each. So let us know if you think that's a disproportionate sentence, if you have any questions about that sentence, and whatnot. So it seems like she's taking responsibility for what happened at this point. So me personally, I definitely kind of feel for her at this point, because should anybody fake their own kidnapping? Obviously no, right? But to have to serve jail time, that seems a little bit extreme. But that's possibility for Carlee. She's going to be going to circuit court, and we're going to be following that once she gets there. So we're going to move on, man. So if you know anything about hip hop, 21, you found out, like we all did, like around 2019 or so, that this dude is from London. He's from Great Britain. He got the heavy Atlanta accent, but he ain't from Atlanta for real. So he got arrested back in 2019 for gun charges and some other charges, and that's when they found out, and it became known that he didn't have a green card. His green card expired, and he continued to live in the United States, which is not necessarily uncommon, but there's not a lot here. But he finally has received his green card, according to Drake, and the case has been closed, according to the DeKalb County office, who was responsible for that investigation. So shout out to 21 for that. Not really a lot to report, but he's been on tour. Him and Drake have an album, so him and Drake have been on tour. He hasn't been able to go to any of the concerts that were outside the U.S., but now that he has his green card, he'll be able to travel to Canada for 2 upcoming shows with Drake. So you know what I'm saying? He was almost technically he was a captive, because he couldn't leave because he didn't have a green card. So now he can move around the world the way he needs to. So good for him regarding that. And we're going to move on. So we've been talking about YNW Melly for a while. So if you've been here, he's facing a retrial for the murder of 2 of his former friends and band members or group members. And it's a lot going on here. So last week we talked about where he and his co-defendant were facing new charges for witness tampering. Well, his legal team is saying that the case should be thrown out altogether because the prosecution withheld evidence and was trying to get people to testify falsely. The judge is sorting all of that out right now as we speak. The trial was scheduled to start on Monday that just passed, but it hasn't started yet. And because of everything that's going on, the jurors may be anonymous. So they don't want for Melly or anybody on his team to be able to reach out to them to intimidate them or to be able to try to pay them off or anything like that. So the judge is going to be deciding all of these things. We're going to keep following this, long drawn out trial. Obviously, he had a mistrial back in over the summer, and now he's got another trial that's about to start. So, as we always talk about, one of the big things that got him in trouble was the fact that he had a song called "Murder on My Mind," and then some of his friends actually were murdered in a way that was eerily similar to how the song went. So be careful out here. Don't be kind of putting yourself out there about real situations if you're a rapper. So I don't know if he murdered him, but either way, we'll continue to follow this story on Melly. Has anybody been following this Melly story? Anybody know anything about that? Cool. Well, this is another story that we talked about a little while ago. So if you know the big picture, that's Flo Rida, and that's his son who fell 50 feet out of an apartment complex window a couple of months back. So his son's name is Zahar. Zahar's mother is Alexis Adams, and she has stated that it's going to take $40 million for her to drop the case. Okay, 20 million from the apartment complex and then 20 million from the window installation company. So $40 million, I think that would probably be fair. Zahar, they're calling a miracle baby. He dropped 50 feet from a 5th-story window. That was way back in March when we first started the show. So it's been a while. It's been longer than I thought. So he was rushed to the hospital. He was in ICU. He was in a full body cast, and now he's learning how to walk again and getting back right. So, according to New Jersey court records, she's saying that she was settled for $40 million. Neither party has said whether or not they would be willing to settle for the $20 million. They probably won't be, but that's kind of what happens in these cases. Yeah, so that's what happened. So her lawyers are going to be looking for evidence to show why her case is worth what they're saying, and then the defense is going to try to figure out to either blame the other person or to say that the case doesn't warrant that type of money. And I'm gonna bring my special guest on. He just popped onto my screen, but I'm gonna bring him on because he knows a little bit about Flo Rida as well. So, ALI LaFlare, where you at today?
Man, beautiful Los Angeles, California people. How we feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great. So I don't know. Do you know about this story with Flo Rida's son?
I don't.
Yeah, so we were just talking about it. So his son fell from a 5th-story window back in March, and his mother is suing the apartment complex and the window installation company. She says she would accept 20 million from each. The son is from everything that's reported, he's recovering as you would hope for someone to recover. No, obviously there's gonna be long-term effects, but he's not like paralyzed. He's not in any type of
5 stories is crazy.
Brain damage or anything like that. So she's looking for 40 million, and I know that Flo a little bit, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's actually my cousin.
Yeah, so crazy. So we all got that Bahamas connection. So we might be cousins too. We never traced it, but we got people in the comments. They oh my goodness, and eyes, because it is a crazy thing. So it's gonna play out. Luckily it was only a 5th-story window since he made it, right? So 6th story might have been the difference.
That is real.
But yeah, so we'll continue to follow that as well as the lawsuit continues. But very, very important that as construction companies that you're following all the standards and all of the inspections that need to take place are done to make sure that the work is done safely. So hopefully everything works out for everybody in this story moving forward.
Yeah, man.
You know, so we got another Miami rapper right here who we've been talking about. We talk about the same people all the time, y'all. So I mean, so we got Gunplay. If you don't know who Gunplay is, he's a Miami rapper affiliated with Rick Ross.
MMG family.
We talked about him when they had beef with DJ Envy about who had the best car show. And then we talked about him in a more serious situation where he was arrested and charged with assaulting the two beautiful young women that you see, his daughter and his wife. And you may have seen him on Love and Hip Hop Miami. Apparently, they're on that show.
Right.
If you watch Love and Hip Hop Miami, let us know in the chat if you're familiar with Gunplay and Von Sean Taylor. But the story right now is that obviously there's a temporary restraining order because Von Shay is saying that Gunplay assaulted him with a gun, which doesn't sound too far-fetched, right? But for somebody named Gunplay.
Yeah,
but,
we said it was very on brand.
Yeah, so true to who he is, his name at least, he, brandished a weapon. She's saying that he was doing well, but now he's back on drugs and drinking. And there's a temporary restraining order. He missed 3 hearings. So now he only is able to see his daughter through like how we're talking right now. He can't see her in person. There's a system in place for him to be able to talk with her. And if he misses the next hearing, it's possible that he'll lose custody until she's 18 entirely. Yeah. Exactly.
Sounds about right.
So I did see that he has recently employed some dope black lawyers from out of Miami to help him with the criminal defense case. But more importantly, whatever it is that's going on with him, if there is anything, hopefully he can get the help that he needs. If it's a drug problem, he can get some rehab. If it's alcohol, same thing. Or if he's just got anger management, he can get that under control. And along with that, Von Shay is saying she wants a divorce and that she's seeking child support. The only thing about it that's corny to me is that the article that I read said that a lot of this is going to play out on the upcoming season of Love and Hip Hop Miami, which makes it seem like it's for TV. And
that's bogus.
Yeah, so
it is what it is. I mean, they got to get their ratings. He signed on, she signed on, they got their money, so they're gonna air their business. I mean, that's just part of the issue with reality TV, man. That's how it goes.
So anyway, wish them all the best, man, especially the little girl. She's innocent,
man.
She's all the way innocent in the situation. She ain't has to be here. So
gotta be about the children, man. Real.
Now this one's another jacked up story. So if you've ever watched this show, I know you know who this dope black lawyer is, Ben Crump. Shout out to the Qs. What up, Timmy? So here he is again, back in the news, doing what he does best, and he's helping this woman who you probably don't know. Her name's Marsha Irving, okay? And she was released from prison in 2018, around the same time that Florida passed a law saying that felons would be able to vote. So Marsha ended up voting in the 2020 and 2022 elections.
Marsha's a felon?
Yeah, man, the sweet old lady, the sweet old grandma right there, man. Everybody make mistakes.
And I never saw that coming.
Yeah, bro. So Marsha did her time. Whatever it was for, I don't know, but she did her time. Marsh. Yeah, but little did Marsha know that in 2019, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who we've also talked about countless times on here, signed a bill that would lengthen the time for people to vote if they hadn't completely fulfilled their sentence. Things like paying like the restitution and probation and stuff like that. So, she didn't know that.
I can see that. I can see that being relevant, though. I can see that being relevant, man.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I am a Florida citizen. I am a lawyer in Florida, and I didn't know that. So I can see how people would also not know that, right?
See how you could not know that.
So
for sure,
Ben Crump, the Tallahassee NAACP, and some other people are saying that this is really voter intimidation. to make felons scared to vote, because now it's like, well, dang, I don't know if I paid my fees. I don't know if I'm actually right. So like, because they don't have like a database when you go there. It'd be one thing if they were able to be like, hey, you're trying to vote, but actually you're not eligible right now because you haven't paid your thing, right? They're actually gonna let you vote and then arrest you.
Come after you.
So what's the worst thing that could happen for you, right?
Yeah. This feels very reminiscent of like a sting that they did in DC, man. They were telling people that, you know, you got tickets to the Super Bowl, you won, you know what I'm saying, just come down and collect them. And then they were actually doing that for people that had warrants. So everybody that came down, they took their name, they told them to go to a separate room, and then they arrested them. And this is a real thing that actually happened. So it feels very reminiscent of like tricks of the 80s that they was really employing in DC, man. It's learned behavior. But I ain't voting if that's the case. If I had an FMR report card and I'm fresh out, you know what I'm saying? And if it comes down to, hey, man, I'm going to just let the dice and I'm going to let the cards fall where they may. You know, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. So there was an inspector who interviewed Marsha earlier in the month, and Marsha said, quote, that she believed she was allowed to vote because she was told she could when she was released from prison. And she, quote, remembered it being reported that felons could now vote in Florida from the reports on television. So she completed an affidavit saying that. And she also said that she would not have voted if she believed it was against the law because she just got out of prison and had begun probation. So,
so
ain't nobody trying to go back
again.
Not for that.
Man.
Yeah, not for that. So, I mean, tell us what you think in the comments. Do you think Marsha was on point, or do you think she was trying to finagle the system? Let us know.
They finesse Marsh, man. They finesse Auntie right there.
So this is the big point. So Mutaki Akbar, another dope black lawyer in Tallahassee, Florida, said there's no other evidence that she had the intent to commit fraud. To a layman, completion of a sentence means when you are released from custody. She had no idea that she needed to complete her probation as well in order to vote. So that's the big piece. So like, you know, she thought she was at the crib. Like she didn't try to vote from prison. She voted at the crib. Like she walked up, she had a card, voter registration card, and she voted. So people are saying that the larger issue is what's happening in Florida. So many Democratic leaders have claimed that Republican lawmakers have put these confusing systems of voter registration to confuse black voters.
For sure.
This goes along with many other restrictions that Governor DeSantis has put in place, making it harder for black citizens to vote in Florida. So
sounds very on brand, man. And it seems more like a little bit of voter suppression than intimidation, but I can see I can see where the intimidation falls into it.
Yeah. Well, I would call it intimidation, not from actually casting your ballot, but also but more so from even going to go vote, right, because you're afraid. Because voter suppression is like when they do something at the spot and they're like holding the lines. So that would be more like voter suppression, or you don't have the right ID. Right. I think that would be more like voter suppression. But either way, it ain't right.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So
wait, can they vote from home? Because what if she got the home ballot and she's like, yo, send it to the crib. I'm old.
Same thing. They sent it to her. If they had a system in place that said
that's
nope.
Close.
Yeah, so I agree. So I agree with you, Gil. I think she did what she believed was right. Look at this sweet old lady. Did she make a mistake one time in her life? Sure, but does she look like somebody that's gonna go down and try to vote after doing time?
TT look like she makes some fire collard greens. I ain't gonna hold you.
I think the whole meal gonna be good.
I think it's gonna slap.
What you think? What you think she gonna make for dessert though? This is gonna be a sweet potato
peach
pie.
Cobbler. She busting out the cobbler. TT busting out full cobbler. Hey yo, she look behind me. She might make an aqua duff for you.
Hey, I hope she do all that.
What about duff?
Good. Stop, man. Stop. I ain't ate yet. Peace to Auntie though.
Come on, man.
So
I hate Broward County.
Yo, so we always gonna patrol the police, man, because this is another one that's a little bit crazy, man. So 50 to 70 Broward sheriff office employees were accused in a PPP loan fraud case. So I want to talk about this because there's been so many of my brothers and sisters going down for PPP, and I'm so glad that they got that they at least are investigating what is looking like some type of RICO, possibly.
Let's go with
the Broward Sheriff's Office. So
let's go, law.
So So according to the Florida Bulldog investigative reporter Dan Christensen, he's saying that I've heard the word that is going around at Broward Sheriff's Office is 50 to 70 employees, mostly deputies, sworn deputies, detention deputies, and other employees that are part of the PPP fraud loan investigation, and that the indictments are coming down. So he said it could be as early as today because this was written yesterday. So he said, I was told there are 15 to 20 law enforcement officers, meaning street deputies and their supervisors, and the rest being detention deputies, jail guards, and civilian employees at the sheriff office. If you know anything about what happened with PPP, so it's the Paycheck Protection Program.
Correct.
That the government put in place so that during COVID, employers who were suffering from being closed due to the quarantining and all of that would be able to still have funds to be able to pay for their payroll and other
staff,
other business expenses. So it's been widely reported that people were buying Lambos and fat cribs and all that.
It was
which is not false.
It's not at all. It was lit. But I mean, it's crazy that first off, this was mainly for business owners. How are you a Broward County sheriff, all right, and then you claiming that you are a business owner?
So what the play was,
a full-time job.
So what the play was the whole time, you hear everybody talking about get you an LLC. So people were just fraudulently
making up LLCs.
Well, whatever. I mean, the LLCs were
they were legitimate. Yeah, they were
legit. But
the business that was being conducted was fraudulent.
Well, 9 times out of 10 there was no business being conducted. So what you would have to but listen, what you would have to present was, because I had Paycheck Protection Program loans.
I did too.
So they'll ask you for your payroll records. So,
right.
If you have it, so they want all your employee records, and if you were a solo, later on down the line, if you were a sole proprietor, you could send them certain records, and then they would tell you would go through a certain bank, whichever bank, and they'll tell you how much money you qualified for.
Right.
And they just send it to you. But some people were falsifying the records or misstating the information and doing all types of stuff to get extra money.
Oh man, typical thing what people do when the drip just gets convoluted, man. It's just you go OD. So everybody was just going OD. Like, why couldn't you just keep it flowing? First off, man, shout out, to D-Stemmy, man, Donald Stimulus, and the whole people that got us that program during that time, Pelosi and everybody that ran it through. But it was what a time to be alive, man. I mean, like, when the government's giving out actual capital to business owners who actually needed it in a fashion that was sustainable and suitable. But when you just start adding on, I have multiple employees, interior structure just got out of pocket, and people just started acting like they was making millions of dollars. It got ridiculous at a certain point. But I'm glad these boys got caught up for real.
So I'm glad you said that. So we're gonna pivot just a little bit, because somebody else who we talk about all the time is Sexyy Red, the rapper, right? She's famous, and she made a statement like that. So not legal related at all, but basically she made a statement saying that she really gets down with Donald Trump because he put money in the hood, and then like a day or two later her sex tape leaked. Right? But Angela Rye, if you remember her, she's
great
a political pundit. She does a lot of that. So she fact checked Sexyy Red's comments.
Yeah, of course she did, because it wasn't really him. I mean, I know she got read real quick.
Yeah, so just to be on point, so that we don't put wrong information out there, we want to at least put out the other side, so you can investigate it for yourself. But Angela Rye said to Sexyy Red and everyone else who's found themselves in the camp for Blacks for Trump, I would invite you to look into his record. Rye said in videos posted on social media, I would invite you to look beyond barbershop conversation, people who are just shooting a breeze, or some people say shooting the shit. If that's what you're going to do, at least let the shit be facts. Let it at least be fact checked, she added. So she said, when you
True
look and
story.
see Donald Trump actually comes for Black people, are you satisfied with that? So we're not gonna go through the whole thing, but if you're interested, you can look for the fact check on Donald Trump. Just Angela Rye fact check. And I say fact check everybody. So I'm not
I agree.
I'm not big time one of these got to be a Democrat, whatever, but fact check everybody, because
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I think your political stance should fall within your tax bracket, man. If you got the comments for the understanding, man, I mean, that's just really how it goes. I mean, for the most part, unless you just a diehard for what's right, you know what I'm saying, then you might want to be independent. But typically, people don't even really understand, especially as just like minorities. We think we're just brought up a certain way when we feel like you got to be a Democrat or you must be Republican. And it typically, this type of thing falls tax bracket based. You know what I'm saying? They vote based upon the laws to, keep the rich rich, and that's just how this should go.
So at the end of the day, just do your research, vote for what you feel is right for you. Or what's the least wrong for you if you're looking at Democrat or Republican. From my perspective, I just want to be able to get out here and get it out the mud, because if you're waiting on them, you're waiting for them.
It's going to wait forever, baby. We still waiting.
Story. So yeah, man. So for all you Broward sheriffs out there, though, we're going to go back to y'all, man, because we patrolling the police. That's what we do on the show. All you Broward County sheriffs that's out there committing fraud.
Y'all fraudulent, B.
Hey, I hope everybody who you arrested gets their case dropped.
Oh, God. And I hope they come back in a civil way.
Well, I hope y'all do time for whatever time they was giving my brothers and sisters. I hope they give you at least at least that much. But probably triple, because we're supposed to be holding you to a higher standard.
Oh, God. Are you supposed to arrest somebody and then you out here on that? That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're gonna move out west.
What Jizzle do?
He ain't do nothing, man. But in order for them to post this woman's picture, they got to post his picture, because we don't know who she is. So that's YG's baby mama, Caitlin Sparks, for everybody that don't know. And I really just want to send heartfelt condolences out to her and everybody involved. But she was in a car accident. They ended up having a fatality. There was an 89-year-old lady who was making a U-turn in a 1985 Cadillac out in LA on yesterday, and the 89-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene. So they say that she did not commit a crime, or no drugs or alcohol were involved. It seems like the crash was the result of an accident. Most likely, if the lady was making a U-turn, because we handle these cases at my law firm, helping injured people to secure money for their injuries after somebody causes them. So it sounds like if the lady was making a U-turn, that the lady did not have the right of way and unfortunately died. But I guess the most important thing to discuss here is, one, make sure you got your estate plan done, you got your life insurance and all that stuff. But two, make sure that you have your auto insurance levels all the way up as much as you can afford. So if you're injured by somebody who commits a crime, or not a crime, but is negligent, however you want to put it,
right.
whether there's just a true accident, they're on the phone, they're texting, looking at the GPS, trying to tell the kids in the back to be quiet, whatever the case is for why the accident happens, make sure you have that insurance, because if they don't, you're still protected. So you want to make sure your family's protected, everybody in your car is protected. So whether it's your fault or not, it seems heavy to be involved in a situation that ended with a fatality. So
that's crazy.
So peace to everybody who was involved with that as well.
Definitely.
And like I said, we handle those cases. If you ever end up in a situation where you have an injury case or any other type of case, holler at me. I'm gonna make sure you get connected with the right lawyer. If it's not me, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna make sure you get connected with the right lawyer. We're gonna do whatever we can to make sure that you get justice. Even if you're at fault, I can still make sure you get connected with the right lawyer. Let's say whatever the case. So just reach out to us. You know what I'm saying? We're the trusted source here. If you're here with us every week, week by week, we're here to build that relationship with you, so that you already know that you could come to us. But that's all we got today, Ali. I mean, what you want to say?
Man, it's drastically unfortunate that anybody died in a fatality. You know, that's crazy, and we always wish the families condolences and wish them nothing but healing and the best. You never really often hear about somebody in an '89 Cadillac or anything just, you know, being the one that passed from it too. So yeah, man, big bless to everybody involved with this situation. We hope they come out of it, man.
100.
Yeah.
100. So I appreciate y'all being with us today. Today's show, we got through it pretty fast, but there's plenty of other stuff we could have talked about. If it's anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about, you could ask me right now. If it's not a personal legal matter, if there's something going on, like if you're curious about DJ Envy, let me know right now. We could talk about it. He made it. You know, he's got a lot going on with the real estate situation. If you want to talk about 50 Cent saying that you know Diddy did it, dealing with Pac, we could talk about it. But if you don't have nothing, then we're gonna sign out. But you can always reach out to us on any social platform for Dope Black Lawyer. You could also email holla at dopeblackLawyer.com. You can send a message on SpeakPipe as well, speakpipe.com/Dope Black Lawyer audio message. The only thing that we say is if it's a personal matter, send a DM. If you just want to, you know, comment, you can always do that, and we'll reply back to you. I appreciate you as always. And Ali, same to you. So we'll be back here. We're a little early this week, and it was a little bit more people. So we might try this again.
We want to keep this time, man. Let's keep this time. Yeah. It works well, baby. Works
well. So everybody on their lunch break, we glad that you'll do lunch with us. Everybody at their desk, not doing no work. We love you too. Don't do work. Chill with us.
Baby. Come on, tap in. Stay connected.
Yeah. So
that's all we got. Job.
All right. We out. Oh, it's homecoming season. So
let's go.
So we're gonna see y'all at a homecoming soon. We're gonna be at CAU homecoming in 2 weeks. Let's do it.
Standing up. Let's get it. Atlanta, what's happening?